Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 20300 Oregon Highway 240 here in Newburgh, or also La Puy Bed and Breakfast. This is a second video. We just scoped 3 different branches of pipe. There is one other one here I missed originally. So we're down here on the bottom floor, most bottom floor units, and if you're standing in the highway looking back at this building here, we are at the bottom right hand or front right hand corner of the building. Now we're going to the 3-inch ABS. We do have water running, and we're going to advance out until we tie into the rest of the sewer line. Alright, do have a belly in the line here, and a fairly significant one at that. There's a fair amount of water in there. And we'll see how this looks when the line is drained out. We've got a bathtub running, which will undoubtedly exaggerate the standing water, but I can tell you've got at least an inch or two of standing water there all the time, with or without water running. You got multiple bellies in here. I think we're coming up to a junction here. Yeah, that right there is where we Y into the other sewer line. Alright, we're going to shut the water off here, let this whole thing drain out. We'll take another look as we come back here. There's certainly some spots to locate and mark here. Alright, located the camera head successfully. The line ties in. You have to watch the other video, and I apologize for having to make 2 of these. So there was a belly I mentioned as we went through the last point of access. It's closer into the building that I originally referred to as minor. There was only a 1/4 inch of water in it. You've got standing water in this branch of pipe as well, so that's one I actually do recommend correcting now, because you're going to have to in order to fix the slope and grade. And where you have junctions coming together like that, I don't like seeing any standing water, because it throws the debris off and it can change the direction at which it moves. So right here, I mentioned an offset joint. If you look at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can see a little bit of a lip on a pipe joint. That's that offset that we saw originally. So I do recommend that spot be corrected. At those junctions like that, you want those to flow as nicely as possible. Otherwise, debris can just plop into there and just sit and block the line up. Anytime you have a turn like that, you lose water velocity. And anyway, I'd like to see that corrected there. You still got a little water trickling through the line here. That, and I think some of this pipe is somewhat sitting flat. Now, we have no more water moving through the cleanout, but that's certainly moving water there. By and large, it looks like most of the standing water starts here just prior to the junction. So I recommend that Y connection there be repaired, as well as the belly that attaches to it. That water we're going through right now, though, is moving water. That's not standing. It's constantly flowing there. So it's possible there's a second branch tying into the one we're in currently. And what could be happening is if you get a line that sits basically flat and has a minor amount of standing water in it, as I pull the camera back, it sloshes that water around and can create the effect like you still have running water. It's very possible that section, a lot of that pipe we've just been through, is sitting flat and there is standing water throughout the majority of it. In which case, you will probably have to regrade the vast majority of the sewer line to get the bellies corrected. Yeah, this is a hard one to tell. We're in a belly currently. The stuff between this and the Y connection up ahead is very hard to tell, as the water just never stops. You can see how it's starting to move again, and that's what's making it difficult to tell if you've got a very, very small belly in the line, or minor anyway. But when you've got this much pipe out of grade, you often have to fix all of it in order to correct the slope and grade. I put a marking down here at 67 feet. That water is still moving. My camera hasn't been moving back and forth to the line here for a few minutes. So I would leave that up to the repair guys to decide how they want to do a correction on that. This is a difficult one to tell if those bellies persist, but in a very minor amount. But from about 58 feet to 67 feet, you do have standing water. And we're around 2.5, 3 feet deep there. Yeah, you can see that water is still kind of... I think you've got a line that's sitting flat here, to be honest. There are times where I don't see any rippling going through the line and we still have a little bit of standing water. I would forward the video on to a repair guy and find out if they need to fix it all or just in parts and pieces. They got another belly here. It starts or ends at 40 feet. And this starts somewhere around 36 feet here. But you can see now the water's pretty much done moving. There's still a little bit in the flow line. It's very, very small, but... yeah, at this rate, with the amount of bellies that are in the line, they're very consistent. I'm going to recommend you just regrade this entire section of the sewer line. They're so consistent throughout that, by and large, that's pretty much what you're going to have to do in order to fix all this stuff. You've only got maybe 5-10 feet of pipe in between each one that drains off completely. Now, I just put a line there just marking we made a turn in the line. And then a lot of this here is under foliage and pavers from this point back, which is not stuff I'm going to do markings on. So there's enough spots throughout here that any repair guy comes going to have to relocate all this stuff. And ideally, you get the water shut off to the building so no water runs through it. There's so much pipe in here that you turn water on for 2 seconds and it takes minutes for it to actually dissipate out through the line. But basically, from here at about 3 feet from this clean-out access, all the way out to the Y connection at 100 feet, I would recommend that whole section be regraded. Now, consult a repair guy. They may be able to do it in parts and pieces and in spots because the line is not terribly deep. You're between around 1.5 and 3 feet deep there. But sometimes it's easier just to bore a new one in or something of that nature, or just dig it all up. It's much easier to get grade proper when you do it all at once. But from 3 feet to 100 feet, you've got multiple bellies. They're about every 10 feet in the sewer line, in this portion of it anyway. And again, after any repairs, make sure you do a rescope to check the work.